primary thing I would look for in avoiding day trade scams is going to be around control. There's this association that like if you're a day trader, somehow that's the association of like some scam going on. And I found that's completely not true, because if someone's classifying themselves as a day trader, they're the ones in control. It's usually their own money, it's their own retirement, or some money that they raised or earned from something else. And so they are in it with their own funds. Where I start to see the most scams is where people don't have control. And the scams happen when people are trying to take other people's money, or they have a fund, quote unquote, that like people are trading, or they have some promised delivery system, something they were trading that was making a bunch of money and it really didn't. And then it ends up turning out to be a Ponzi. They're like raising money from other people. And in return, they're actually not even trading. They're just living off of the money that people gave them and never actually went out and traded it in the first place. And I hear stories probably, a couple a year. People losing millions of dollars to these types of scammers. And it's a real thing. So control is a big piece. If the money's not in your bank account, it's a lot harder to control what's going on with it. Yeah, so if you already have given your money to someone else, you might be hearing this for the first time and going, am I a victim already? And that's a great question to ask yourself. If you've given your money to someone else who's classifying themselves as a day trader, and they had a system and they're supposedly trading it. I'm not saying they're not. There are legitimate people that are out there doing this and they're doing it in a legal way. You might ask some questions, and I would look at the language that was used to enroll you in giving them your money. And one of the words that I would look for is like guarantees. If any type of day trader makes a promise that they can guarantee some future result, that is an enormous red flag to me. Because one, this is a highly regulated industry and you just can't do that. You can't use words like guarantees. Two, guarantees in the day trading world where there's risks, it's not possible. It's not possible to have a guarantee in a world filled with non-guarantees in day trading. So it's a paradox, really. It's like, this is not reality. There are risks, so you can't make guarantees. If they use that language, you're probably at a higher risk. They're running some type of Ponzi. Other words or language that I would look for is like disclaimers. Like if they didn't hand you something that had like disclaimers, if you didn't see federal, state disclaimers on stuff that you signed, if they're not registered, that's a big red flag for me. Because again, this is a very highly regulated industry. And if they're not in compliance with those things, it's like, what else? What other rules are they breaking? What other things are they doing with your money that doesn't fall into this regulated industry? And so I would immediately see that as a sign like, hey, something could be going, I'm not saying it is, but could be going wrong here and would be worth investigating. Now, if you're being approached at the moment, those are the type of questions I would ask. Like, oh, you just made a guarantee. I know you're not supposed to be doing that. What's going on? Or why am I not seeing any disclaimers? Why am I not seeing anything about how this is a highly high risk type of environment? Or you're not giving me my federal and state disclosures. Why am I not seeing that? And those type of questions will very quickly perturbate whatever maybe nastiness or gross things that are actually lying underneath that will start to kind of rise to that surface. So the safest way to avoid scammers is to be responsible. And the most responsible way to be interacting with day trading is to be doing it yourself. Now, there are places or systems that people promise certain types of things, and immediately that's a red flag to me. Like, you're not going to get into day trading with a promise again or a guarantee that you're going to get some result. But ultimately, the lowest risk way and the highest way to get the result that you're looking for is to do it yourself. Get educated. It may seem like a long road, but the end result is way more worth it, because handing it to someone else, handing your money to someone else with the possibility of it completely disappearing and they never even traded in the first place, that's a way higher risk than you learning how to do it with the risk of you losing maybe some of it. And so I would say take the path of learn how to do this on your own. Learn how to day trade and give yourself time. Like give yourself at least a year to say, I'm gonna give myself a year to learn how to do this, because it's not a get rich quick thing either. I mean, sure, there's some people that treat it like Vegas and they get lucky, but like ultimately, if you wanna have the success of a successful day trader, it's gonna take time. And you just gotta go into it knowing, like I'm competing with the world around this, and ultimately I only have to be 51% better than everyone else, right? Which in grade school, that was an F, right? So it's like, you do have those advantages. However, it's like this is gonna take some time and patience. And ultimately, the end of the day, it's about your returns. It's about your percentage returns, not how many dollars did I take into my account. And if you can stick with that attitude, you could be a very successful day trader.